Hello everyone and welcome to a new video, to the weekend video, and to take two of the whole thing. There's not the whole boot in there. I basically took a break in between and then I forgot to record the rest. But yeah, so this is basically up until the point where I put on the rings at the front. But yeah, this is just the minor part because you can see most of this and then it's just copy paste anyway. So yeah, I want to do some Roman sandals for a character. In this case it is one of the Strixhaven characters, not of the player character, but an NPC that I introduced this weekend to one of the groups. It is an NPC that both groups will interact with on different levels. Currently trying to think about what I want the character to actually be, or rather to do. So I showed you Thalia Karlov the last time, an NPC that is from one of the characters' backgrounds, and of course Thalia also has some friends and people in her study group that she hangs out with, and one of those is this character. It's an elf girl who goes by the name of Hannah. Very simple, but yeah, I guess it can be, elves can just have normal names as well. She is interested in the Witherbloom College because she is a alchemist of sorts. At least currently that is where I plan to have the character set up, as someone who is creating perfumes and other similar stuff from plants. So basically she's some kind of alchemist, but not like not a specific, she's a specific one, but not like something let's say useful specific. It is a cool thing that she does. She's doing her own thing. Basically last weekend, or this the weekend that just passed, I played with one of the groups. We did a bit about one of the characters who is a vampire and obviously needs blood. So we started with a bit about, hey, how can we, player asked me, can we do a bit about that? So we started with a bit about, hey, the character has a severe lack of blood right now because they didn't take enough with them, and this is something that we solved, in which part the character Hannah got introduced to the group, because she was the one who was unknowingly to the group spending the blood, because this character is interested in vampires. Let's say it like this. She's just fascinated by the whole thing, because she comes from a world where vampires are normal and she's kinda interested in them. So she was super cool, happy to be able to spend some blood, and she was also interested in hoping to date the vampire, which didn't happen. The character of the group was not interested in her, so there's currently no dating with this character going on, at least for now. And yeah, the character will be reintroduced to the group, or they are introduced to the group, but they will meet the character again, because this specific character, as I said, is kind of an alchemist. So she hangs out at the labs, is doing some creation there, and the group has a potential to interact with them again on different levels. Maybe they need something she can make, maybe they want to trade with her, or do something else that might be interesting to them, or beneficial to them rather. Other than that, again, the other study group that this character is a part of, the run around Thalia Karlov, is a group that I will introduce into both my player groups. So basically they're playing in the same universe. They're just randomly never actually meeting unless I mix the groups up, which might happen. I don't know yet. But yeah, this is a study group that is basically connecting both universes more or less, both play groups, and they both will have interaction with them. The rest of the exotic group, I've shown you Thalia. The rest of the group I probably will not model because that might be a bit problematic. One of them is a Minotaur, which I don't have a model for, and the other one is a human who is relatively boring visually wise. Also, I would have to do a lot of weapon props for the character because he's a fighter class. But yeah, I'm not going to talk about that much about the other two characters yet because I might actually do a bit about them. So yeah. Overall, after we did the whole blood incident, there was a bit... Basically, the characters solved the whole we need blood issue for the vampire, and then we had a bit about a first semester seminar, more or less, a big seminar with all the first semester people, where they had a guest lecturer that was a famous character from the Magic universe, or someone you would think could be famous. That was very interesting because the group had a very interesting, or part of my players had a very interesting way of dealing with them. Basically, one of the characters in this specific group has a magic sword that talks to them and tells them really interesting things, and they had nothing better to do than tell this super powerful wizard, hey, I have this magic talking sword that has cool ideas and wants to be free. And the specific character in question was no other than Joda, the Archmage Eternal himself, who apparently, if you know the lore of magic, has some experience in the field of magical items that have souls imbibed to them. So, needless to say, now the group has, or Joda definitely has an eye on that specific group, even though he's not here currently in Strixhaven, and this will definitely come back to haunt them. Speaking of coming back to haunt them, there's something neat that I will talk about in a second. There's something called the knife theory, which is basically just if the player characters give you something that can come back to bite them in the back, in the butt, then this is something you can use as a DM to get back at them. So the group actually gave me a few things because the Markov character is really just going out and spending money they don't have and being like, yeah, this is put it on my tab. Basically, Markov will pay for this, fully knowing that they ran away from the family, so they have not really any way to compensate for all that. And we'll see how fast that comes back to bite them. Also, they stole an invasive fungus species and put it somewhere randomly, more or less random in the area, without any precautions, so this will also come back to haunt them. Basically the group has, in this short adventure, the group has given me a lot of angles to interact with them outside of the normal the normal book, because the Strixhaven book actually, the single adventures are relatively short, and I'm not really a fan of doing multiple adventures at one session. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spice this up with stuff about the general school life, what is happening else, lectures. And next time I will basically have a short seminar about basically they're doing history of the multiverse, and they will have a short escapade about the Sarpadian empires. And if the players pay attention, they will possibly know that the fungi thing might have been a bad idea. But if they don't pay attention, they do not have that chance to find out that they kind of screwed up a little bit. We'll see how they handle this, if they pay attention, or if they're just whatever, we don't care, we're having fun. I do want this to be a more or less fun university adventure, even though the whole story changes later on. But yeah, that's basically all for this video. That I basically made to just introduce one character, one of many NPCs that I will have. The other group now has a vehicle and is going to do underground racing next time. So yeah, both groups have a totally interesting development, and we'll see about how the whole thing pans out. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope the little rant and the D&D stories are interesting to you. As always, stay healthy, guys, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next one.